Yo, yo, yo! Here we go. We're gonna review Gojira with my favorite, one of my favorite ladies. Who's a teacher, a smart woman, very intelligent. So we're gonna kick it with Gojira for a minute, and see how she reacts to it. Cause you know, her age bracket and all, teacher and stuff. What do you think? Is that heavy? Pretty heavy stuff, huh?
Yeah, but I like it.
My fans like it. It's different.
Now, who is this?
They're called Gojira. Gojira. They're singing about the cataclysms and stuff. It's like the science. It's like a science story.
Really?
But I've been figuring out about it, yeah. Totally digging it. Right?
Well, I like it.
Margaret likes it, man.
But I can't distinguish anything they're saying.
That's the whole thing. You gotta. This music, in my opinion, it takes study. You have to study it, and then once you're sitting in your stereo room and you're listening to it, it captures you in with their story. Once you start to understand the words of it, it's like that for everybody. I think once you realize that it's a story, the words start to come out at you. No matter how, it's the damnedest thing I've ever been able to figure out about this type of music is that once you figure the words, then the story makes sense. And then the music fits the musical parts, the guitars and the drums and all that. Those parts and sounds mean something in the story.
I've always loved music, though. All kinds of music.
This is a mellow band compared to what I've been listening to. This other band is really technical sounding. These musicians have come so far, like the music of it is ridiculous. Well, let's listen for a minute, see what you think. See if you can pick out any words at all. Another observation from this music. This particular music makes me feel a little wound up more than this other heavy music that I've been listening to makes me feel calm.
And this music
This music makes me feel a little riled up. I want to be more. The other one relaxes me. Different frequencies, maybe.
I find it hard to realize that any rock and roll music would make anybody feel relaxed.
Any rock and roll music would make anyone feel relaxed? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I can't believe that any rock and roll music would make you feel relaxed.
Oh, okay, I got you. Well, it does. This one does not make me feel.
Right.
I mean, this is not a bad feeling. It makes me feel energized, like more bouncing around. The other band I've been listening to that's a little heavier, maybe, but their music makes me feel relaxed, like I want to just kick back and everything's okay. It went away. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
I think it's the way they frequency it in the studio. They've tuned into the frequencies. Drummers are fascinating in these bands to me.
Wow. Now, is this a nationally,
They're pretty big, I guess.
big, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, we're giving them a review right now. Probably get tickets for this. Yeah, this is a review.
Oh.
See, people don't believe that, it's like to do this recorder thing, it takes a special person to be able to, in this situation, Like I couldn't do this with anybody else because we're just not on that on that thinking level. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to ask people to do a little take. My fans don't believe that I play this type of music all day long at work.
Hey, if this is, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's the kind of music you like.
But it can't
I
hear.
think this is the kind of music you've always loved.
Yeah, I always jam that kind of music when never bothered you, huh? Doesn't bother anyone else.
No.
You should see my lady Midge. We're jamming out one day, and she goes, I go. The other girl asks, "Does this music bother her?" I said, "Music bother?" She goes, "Hey, turn it up. I didn't bring my miracle here, huh?" It's quite funny. This is Gojira. My
What?
fans.
Gojira?
Gojira. Gojira. Different. These guys, I like their sound.
Where do they originate from?
I'm not sure quite yet.
Oh.
I think they're a mixture of older bands, maybe from my era, and maybe a couple younger guys. I love what they sing about. Singing about a wave of destruction, and then the enemies upon. Like that, we should all be mad at. There should be 8 billion people at Cheyenne Mountain. If anyone knows what that is.
Well, I'm one that does not know.
Cheyenne Mountain is where, remember NORAD? What that was, NORAD?
Yeah.
They dug these tunnels into this mountain. And now they have tunnel systems all over the place. So that, my guess is when shit goes bad, they have a place to escape to, where they hide food, seeds, and, you know, Area 51s of the world. This place is tunnels. Something else that Mrs. Barr used to talk about. Cheyenne Mountain.
Mrs. Barr?
Yep. Mrs. Barr was big into science. I got them bards, sorry.
Wasn't she a grade school teacher?
She was, yes. She was teaching us that stuff in that era.
In grade school?
In grade school. She must have known.
God, I just saw her the other day.
Listen, Mrs. Barr must have known that some of us would still think of that. We're older, about CERN and the technology and this experiment that they're doing, right? So, the way I figure it, Mrs. Barr maybe just was interested in it because it fascinated her, and she was talking about it to us kids. I wonder if she thought that it would ever stick in a few of our heads. You know what I mean? Like, that's something that stuck in my head my whole life, you know, and I always watched it since then, you know.
Oh, wow.
I kept track of it. Oh, CERN. Oh, wow, they're doing it. She was right.
Yeah.
She was talking about the particle smasher and this huge experiment they're doing. It take 50 years to make. You guys are 50. You'll be talking about this in 6th grade, right? She was a smart lady, Mrs. Barr.
I see her every once in a while.
She taught us about the importance of nature. She was big into that stuff, and horses and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, very scientific lady. I think she got the wrong calling, huh?
If that's true, you know, if she really was into it.
Mrs. Robotham,
Oh,
Mrs. Robotham was talking about the moon landings and the mathematics of stuff, of complicated stuff. We're in like 3rd grade. Okay, and it was like she was writing stuff on the board. And I'll never forget as a little kid looking at her write these complicated things on the board and say, tell the class that you won't know what this is, but you'll think about this when you're old.
There you are. Huh?
Mrs. Farr, Robotham.
Robotham.
She was the math lady. Taught us math, At that time, people were landing on the moon, so she was talking about it and bringing it to class with her. 2nd graders.
Oh my God.
So hell yeah, we had teachers. We got lucky. People that
There are good teachers and then there's mediocre.
Listen, my one friend, Christine Brooks. Do you know her? You ever hear of Christine Brooks? Christine Brooks is one of the top astrobiologists or astrophysicists there is. She's just super.
Did you go to school with her?
Yeah, all through high school. But this lady.
Is that Henry Brooks' daughter?
Yeah, the piano teacher. The piano people.
Okay.
Yeah, Christine Brooks.
All right.
She's a physicist type of girl that looks in the microscopes or the telescopes and satellite stuff, builds it, and she's that type of. But she's pretty smart too about stuff, and we talk about Mrs. Farr and online about talking about that CERN thing. You know what I mean? So it feels good that she remembers it as well. It's like it's not a dream. You know what I mean?
Somebody else knows.
Somebody else remembered, and you're telling me that you remembered, so it's for real.
Yeah.
We were talking about it back then. Because you remember it.
Yeah.
It's like a big why wouldn't teachers talk about it? It was a big science experiment. It's all over the
Well, if you're interested in it, what made you think that, the teachers wouldn't be interested in it?
Right? As far as like telling 2nd graders though,
Really?
complicated math. Maybe Mrs. Robotham thought one of us kids could figure that out. That complicated crap she was right. I would look like stilts in my head. That stuff looks like gibberish, like any kind of geometry or algebra or any of that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think you're born with it. You either, from day one, your little brain is either there or it's not there.
It is. That's a fact. I know that it feels good to exercise it, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to be right with any of my science stuff because it's scary. I have to think about how to do things we weren't thinking about doing,
Yep. Well, I hated it when I was in school. I took totally business classes. I did not want to learn algebra, geometry, chemistry, biology, none of that kind of stuff. But as I've gotten older, I've kind of delved into all of that.
Yeah.
And I've learned a lot since I know when I was working, there would be times that these kids would come down and, I need help.
Yeah, I was probably one of them.
And I had to run down to the teacher and take a quick lesson. And, through those years I learned so much. It was unreal. It was unreal.
It's because you're a good teacher.
Well, I tried. And I really miss going to school too. At the age of 78, I still would like to go to school.
Yeah, me too.
And, go over to the high school and work a day or two a week.
Gotta admit, this music has got a pretty good groove.
It's entertaining.
It's entertaining?
Yeah.
All right. Gojira is entertaining. I'm going to record that whole event too at Recom. I'm recording it. We get so many interviews.
These guys must be tired out at the end of the concert.
I bet you, because they're like not standing around, just standing. They're jamming around like maniacs.
Right.
Music's so intense, makes me bounce around the living room when I'm not busy. Like, I'd be...
Yeah.
I've had that problem with this music. All right, lady, hold still. I got to put this in. Don't bounce your head.
As I told you, I love music. All kinds of music.
You know what's impressive to these guys? That they're catching older people in their groove.
Oh.
And that's what impresses me. That they're just catching the older groups, not the kids like you think. Caught the older people.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Bunch of us older people. I don't know.
You don't know what old is yet,
I'm
Rob.
52, honey. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
To these kids, I'm old. To a 28-year-old, I'm a friggin' grandpa. Right? Come on. I had a 28-year-old chickie who was chasing me down the other day. She wore me out.
Woo!
She wore me out. I almost fell in love with her.
Uh-oh.
I did for a second. I made a spectacle. Then I caught myself in my own tracks.
Better watch it, Rob.
28, I can't be flirting around with no 28-year-old woman. What am I thinking? Right?
Hey, you're only as old as you think.
Yeah, but she's 28.
Well,
Oof.
in the same respect,
The feelings get too intense. Yeah.
well,
I don't know. Same perspective. Just enjoy it while it's there, huh?
something like that, Rob. You still got it.
That's because I'm the heavy metal hair salon. Science class is always in full session. I've actually got people asking me to teach their kids stuff. Like, they're these sad kids, or they're in a shell or something. So I'm helping a couple.
Oh, that's nice.
Tell them to wake up.
Yeah.
I love this music. These guys get an A+. Different.
Well, you like rock. If you're deep into rock music, I can certainly understand why you like this too. That's about as far as rock and roll goes.
No, it goes a little further.
Really?
It does. I'll play you the next track. It's like the band that that relaxes me. And see how intense that feels. But their music is more clearer, I think.
Huh.
I don't know. It's like a totally different type of vibe. But I'll play that next. We'll get a feel for that. Let's pause this. We're gonna go on to the next test. All right, Margaret and I we're gonna review a little bit of Allegaeon. Okay, so she's sitting in the center chair. I'm going to let her listen to this whole thing, and then we're going to get a reaction at the end. Make sure I adjust the level for you right. Guys sing about, they have their albums are about from creation to the cataclysm. They got 5 albums and all of the science in between. The science I was just talking about is in their music. Listen to how intense these guys play. Wow. This music takes study. See, I figured that these build-ups and all that stuff, they mean something with the words.
Yeah, I don't get anything out of the words.
Yeah, it takes a minute. I can hear everything he's saying. We're talking about putting people in jail if it's been robbing us for the truth. by its package design to help us survive. Yeah, see, like they're singing about for the coming rain. That means when that guy's going, it means the sun's going. So it has a meaning, man. You know what I mean? So everything that they're singing about is all that science in between the, you know.
They have a phenomenal guitarist. I'll tell you that.
Does that make music? Did it bring did it make you feel, or did it make you feel?
It kind of made me feel
More. So this music relaxes me. This particular one, like I can kick back and it sucks me into it.
Well, see, you're deep into that kind of music, though.
It's the.
You know, this isn't something that I'm.
Well, I
used
know.
But I like it. I love that guitarist.
Let me tell you,
the drummers.
That's the tightest stuff right there. I mean, if you're gonna play like that, that's how you have to make it.
And what's the name of this group?
These guys are called Allegaeon. I mean,
Allegaeon.
They're my favorite. They're just like. They just. I've never had a band be able to suck me into the stereo with it. Like, I mean, I could sit here, like, just the way they play. It's like they got a good recording too.
I can understand that.
The recording is top of the line.
Wow.
You know, if you're gonna do that type of music, you got to play that good.
They're really good.
That tight. Yeah. So there you have it, guys. From a 78-year-old lady telling you. Tight, tight.